Today we're going to talk about stage fright, all right? Spoiler alert, this is going to be me talking to you about stage fright. No saxophone tips. I'm not even holding a saxophone for a prop. My name is Dave. Welcome to the channel. I teach people how to play saxophone. And last week at lesson, one of my middle school students, she's, what are you in middle school? 13, 12, 13, 14? Not very old, 8th grade. She belongs to a church, and her parents are wanting her to play in the church band. Now, this isn't one of those big church bands that uses backing tracks and Ableton and light show and all that sort of thing. This is a much smaller, more rural church with a band made up of kids. But my student is absolutely terrified, and the parents are not flexible about this. This got to happen, right? This is one of those things that she has no choice in the matter. And I have a little bit of experience with her in this regard. About a year ago, we had a group session here. A lot of sax students her age all came and played at the same time, and she was so afraid and so concerned about not being prepared that she left in tears, right? I didn't expect her to come back to the next lesson. I mean, it was hard on her, but she did. You know, she sucked it up and she came back. Stage fright is paralyzing, to say the least, all right? And I know that just about everybody has it. Very few people don't have some form of stage fright. One student in particular does not. In fact, he waits. During COVID, we would do at-home family recitals, and he waited for that part of the year when there were a lot of people in the house, and he could perform for many people. That's a rarity. Most people, most of us, in fact, we'll list our most primary the number one fear is speaking in public, right? Yeah, the number one fear. So imagine having a saxophone, which, is kind of an extension of your person, and playing that. I understand. I get it. I have the deepest of empathy for those among you who have performance anxiety and stage fright, including my student. The bad news is that probably not a thing I'm going to say to you is going to take that away. Some of you may have stage fright permanently. Some of you may not get over your stage fright or your performance anxiety. Some of you will, all right? For some of you, it'll be a lot easier than others. Why? Because we're all different. That's right. Every one of us is different. Every one of us sees life from a different perspective, okay? So my stage fright, oh boy, legendary. With the saxophone and in my beginning career, when you're in music, you got to have a lot of lines in the water. You have to have a lot of revenue streams. Excuse me. You have to have many, many revenue streams. If all you do is play the instrument for coin, you're going to be hungry most nights. You're not going to get a house. Unless, well, depending on the level that you're at. But for most of us, you need to have other sources of revenue. So one of the things I did to stay in the music game while I played saxophone was to be a DJ. I got to work in radio, and then radio turned into music television, which was popular at the time, and then followed up with music TV shows, game shows, music commentary, and other TV stations, and things like that. Sounds like a pretty charmed career, doesn't it? And I admit to you, I was extraordinarily lucky to have that, right? I couldn't tell you how, amazed I was to have made any progress in that line of work and at that level of media. Was I scared every day? Oh, hell yes. Every day. No, it starts at the night before you go to work, right? And I mean, I'm doing this, 5 days, 6 days a week. The night before you go to work, you go to bed and you think, oh boy, tomorrow I got to get up and do this, right? I mean, you might have a nice afternoon or something, but that night, it starts to, roam around in your head. And the morning when you wake up, your stomach, is right up here. Those of you who have stage fright, you know what I'm talking about. and your heart starts pounding and you have that anxiety. Your body's getting you into that fight or flight mode. And you're feeling like, oh, God. And, when you have that, words don't come out right. Things don't go, your voice, the tone of your voice, nothing, you're not relaxed. We tend to stop breathing. We tend to take little shallow breaths because, our body's conserving blood flow, energy, whatever. I don't know the science of all that, but I do know the two words, fight or flight, right? And, we want to just get the hell out of there. Got it. Understood. And I mean, this was every day for 15 years. The last TV show I was on aired on Fox. I was a celebrity judge on one of those knockoffs of American Idol. And we did a couple of seasons. And when the producers came and said, you're canceled, the show's over with, we're not going to do another season, I about kissed them. I was thinking, oh God. Everybody else is weeping, and they're wondering why I'm not. Well, because the set that we filmed on was a good hour and a half drive up the coast from here. Oh God, and oh my God. So when Taylor Hawkins, the drummer for the Foo Fighters, who passed away unexpectedly and fairly recently, when he told a Rolling Stone interviewer that he had terrible stage fright, I got it. I got it. Now, here's a guy that, what do they do, 100 shows a year, something like that? And he played in side projects and all that. But I completely got that he had stage fright. I got it. Some of us don't get over it, right? Others of us do. There's a horse whisperer, and there's a documentary on him. I believe his name is Buck Brannaman, I think. Anyway, he got into doing these big group things with horses, and he was terrible. Once again, awkward and shy, and didn't have good social skills in terms of speaking in public. So what he did was he booked show after show after show after show after show, and he just got up and sucked each time. But he kept doing it until he sucked less, and he gained a sense of confidence, and now he has a flourishing business. That works for some. For me, when I really started, I hit the saxophone really hard for about 10 years. I left media and got into writing. Started writing about pop culture for magazines and newspapers, and there's no nerds whatsoever involved in that. But I really had time to play the saxophone, and I found that I just, oh my God, just terrified. I'd get up with these like weekend jams or whatever, and not very good ones either. And it didn't matter, just getting up because I knew I was going to suck and just, oh man, people would like maybe throw their drinks at me or whatever, what we think, right? And what helped me, and I don't have that now, I don't get nervous now when I play the saxophone. If somebody called me and said, would you come in and do a TV appearance for us, I would just be, but I don't get nervous playing the saxophone. Not nervous now at all. But the thing about that is time and repetition really helped me. Time and repetition and increasing the floor, raising the floor level of my skill set so that I can play pretty good. Yeah, and on most days, and that really helped a lot. So there are a couple of things that I'm going to suggest that'll help you. We're about 9 minutes in here. I hope I'm not putting you to sleep. If you're still with me, there are a couple of things that you can do or that you can, that will eventually help you. One is time. Time is your superpower. You have time. And you want to fill that time with as much public performance as you can. You want to play it as much in front of as many people as you, even if it's just one person, jamming with somebody, practice pal, whatever it is, right? I want you to do that. Think about that. The numbers of performances that you have will change the game, okay? That's going to change the game. Because eventually, if you only have one performance a year, boy, that one is really important now, isn't it? But if you have 300 performances a year, at some point in time, I have an uncomfortable seat. I'm sitting on a stool, and it's not. So anyway, it's hard to be squirming here on camera, but it's my channel, okay? the numbers of performances, yeah, 1 versus 300. By the time you've done 300, you're going to realize, hey, you know what? If you suck, and you will, you're not going to die. And people won't remember it next time they see you. Nobody, it just doesn't work that way. We are not that important. We just aren't. I know that we think we are, but we are not that important in the grand scheme of things. And so when we go out and we show up for a jam or whatever it is, and we start honking away there, and we're sharp or we're flat or we forget notes or our fingers stop working because we're nervous, get up and do it again. Make yourself get up and do it again, all right? If it's that important to you, make yourself do it again. If it's that debilitating for you to play in front of people, maybe time to back up a little bit and think about your goals, all right? Maybe smaller group, maybe not in front of an audience is your safe place. And that's okay too. That's really okay too. I do want you to play music with other people, all right? But maybe it's not going to be in front of an audience. Now, my little girl student does not have the option. She's going to have to get up in front of an audience. And perhaps after a month of Sundays, maybe 2-3 months of Sundays, she'll realize, this one's so bad. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, for some people, stage fright is permanent. I know that for me, in terms of TV and radio, yeah, it was pretty stinking permanent. The second thing that you want to do is over-prepare, okay? I mean, if you've got a little thing to play on Sunday, practice it 150 times. I mean, do that. I mean, that's going to be something that'll help you, knowing that you're over-prepared for the... and then your muscle memory will carry you through the performance, all right? It may not be perfect. This stool, I'll get a better stool, I promise. It may not be perfect, but it'll be better because you rehearsed it at home and you went over it and over it and over it. And after 150 times, I mean, it's going to be part of your muscle memory and your memory, okay? The last thing I'm going to tell you, this is probably the biggest part of this, right? Stage fright comes from your imagination, all right? It's your imagination that makes stage fright into the big boogeyman, the boogeyman that lives under the bed. You ever seen the boogeyman that lives under the bed? No, because there's no boogeyman under the bed, but it's in here. And it's your imagination, all right? When you're imagining what's going to happen on stage, you're not there yet. This is in the future. The future does not exist, right? You know that, right? The future is your imaginary place. It doesn't exist. Where are you? You are here now. I am here now. You and I, we are together. And that's all that matters. We are here now. But when we start having stage fright attacks, right? We're visualizing a future that actually doesn't exist. That ain't happening, right? We're just thinking this thing up. We're scared and we're creating that and we're scaring ourselves with our imagination of what likely will not happen. You will likely get up on that stage. You will likely play wonderfully or whatever. And you will get off that stage and you will not have died in the process, okay? But when that starts to happen and you start thinking and your chest starts pounding, okay, a couple things that you can do. Big breath, okay? Big breath. And hold it. Remember, hey, that's not real. Tell yourself, that's not real. I am here now. What do I see? I see sleeping dogs. Isn't that nice? They're not barking. I see out the window, there's a banana tree. I see my stereo. I see myself on this little camera here. That's what's happening right now. My performance next Sunday is not happening. What's going to happen next Sunday is imaginary. It can only be imaginary because it's not happening yet, right? It won't happen until I get there. So who said it best? Was it Ram Dass? Be here now? Yeah, just be here now. So when you start to become overwhelmed, chest pounding, breathing, oh my God, breathing really helps that. Exercise also helps that. I used to do push-ups backstage. In the green room, I'd be doing these push-ups. Everybody else is just sitting around on their smartphone, texting out a good, but I'm doing push-ups because I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. Did it make the stage fright go away? No. Did it help manage it? Yes. So maybe that's the best you can hope for, is to manage your stage fright. It doesn't always go away. In my case, it got better. I played a couple of wonderful gigs over the weekend with some way cool people. Way cool people. And I enjoyed it. I always do. I look forward to playing now. I don't, think, oh God, so it's cool, right? It's all cool, but for some of us, it's just not going to go away. And I have the greatest of empathy for you and affection for your situation. So you can manage it by breathing, by not thinking about the future, not obsessing about it, by reminding yourself, hey, that's not real. I'm just imagining it. It's not going to really happen that way. And then the last thing that I do, and I would, really encourage all of you to do this, is to get there early. Don't get there late. Don't be late. Get there early. Pack your rig the night before. Make sure you got everything in there. Okay, so that's one thing off your mind, right? And get there. Get to the gig. My rule of thumb is always an hour early. I always like show up an hour, even though I don't have that a performance anxiety anymore. I get there an hour early, and I think that's just good practice. So I want you to get there early, roll in, and have plenty of time to just sit in the environment, right? Look at it, look at the stage, get up on the stage, look at just look out at the audience from the stage. If you're allowed to, blow some notes, play the horn, make some sound, see what it sounds like in that room. Maybe check through the sound system. Maybe you'll get a sound check, maybe not. But all of these things will really help you to, kill that little thing that's going on in your head telling you that, oh God, this is going to be horrible and the boogeyman's under the bed and all that stuff. So if you have any comments, I would love to hear them. If you have stage fright and you want to reach out, davegoodsax at gmail.com is my email address. davegoodsax@gmail.com. Private lessons, I would love to do private lessons with you via Zoom, just like we're doing right now. We can set that up too. Same place, davegoodsax@gmail.com. I surely hope that you're able to manage your stage fright if that is an affliction. And if not, hey, mazel tov, more power to you. All right, thanks for sitting through this. We're banging 17 minutes now, so I'm going to sign off. This is a long video. But it's an important subject, performance anxiety and stage fright. I've known great musicians that would be in the backstage bathrooms puking, before they go out and deliver these incredible performances. But and then it's a thing. It's a real thing. Okay, it's a real, even at the level of a national amazing superstar touring band like the Foo Fighters. Taylor Hawkins admits stage fright, and I'm sure more people have it than let on. Okay, I'm out of here. I'll just keep talking because I've had coffee. So let me just push the button